Orochimaru brought you back for the very first time. The entire battlefield fell into chaos. It wasn't just the shinobi inside the barrier. Even the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, couldn't hide the shock on his face. The Unbu outside the barrier froze in place, cold sweat running down their backs. And far below, even Might Guy and Kakashi Hatake, who were still locked in battle just moments ago, suddenly stopped. Because they felt it, that overwhelming force, rising straight into the sky. Guy's eyes widened, unable to tell whether what he felt was excitement or fear. Kakashi slowly lifted his forehead protector, revealing the Sharingan beneath. Because deep down, they both understood exactly what that presence meant. There had once been a man like that in history, a man who could stand toe-to-toe with the so-called God of Shinobi, with nothing but his bare hands. A man who had once subdued the Nine-Tails and treated it like nothing more than a pet. Even someone as proud as Madara had always greeted him with a smile rather than hostility. And now, inside the barrier, the white-haired figure slowly opened his eyes. You look down at your own hands. So this is what I've become. Reanimated, a body formed by a forbidden technique. Before you could even process it, a voice suddenly called out, "Orochimaru-sama!" Despite being nearly 70 years old, the third Hokage still stepped forward, his voice steady, yet heavy with tension. That familiar voice pulled you back from your thoughts. So even that little monkey has grown old. Your gaze shifted slightly. So today, this place will be where your student sends you off? As you spoke, you glanced behind you. Two coffins blocked most of your view. But through the narrow gap, it wasn't hard to see the greedy smile on Orochimaru's face. At that moment, the lids of the coffins marked first and second slowly fell to the ground. Two familiar figures returned to the world once more. Young man, aren't you being a little too greedy? Disturbing this many predecessors at once? Orochimaru let out a low chuckle. I'm not afraid of you. As he spoke, his hands moved rapidly through a series of seals, completely activating the technique. The first Hokage and the second Hokage opened their eyes at the same time and immediately saw you standing before them. So it's you, Edo Tensei, and the one who summoned us. Is that young man behind us? A faint smile appeared on your face, but your gaze shifted toward the second Hokage, the creator of this technique. This jutsu, you developed it after I gave you the idea. At first, it was only meant to revive key individuals, to extract information. And its weaknesses, you should know them better than anyone. Why don't you explain it to him? You spoke calmly. But the moment those words fell, Orochimaru's expression changed. Something didn't feel right. Don't move. His voice turned cold. Even if it's disrespectful, I can erase your will and your emotions in an instant. And he wasn't bluffing. Orochimaru had already prepared everything. He was far too cautious to leave anything to chance. Two talismans instantly appeared in his hands, and instead of approaching directly, he extended his arms using a secret technique, striking toward the backs of the first and second Hokage's heads. Young man. The second Hokage slightly turned his body and spoke calmly. Let me give you a reminder. Forbidden jutsu always comes with risks. The moment those words reached him, Orochimaru's expression flickered. Of course he knew. This technique was created by the very man standing in front of him. And yet, he didn't hesitate. With a sudden burst of speed, he forcefully drove the talismans into their heads. Now there's no risk. He let out a breath. Relieved. But he relaxed far too early. From the front, you let out a quiet chuckle. Why didn't you let him finish? Kid, that was rude. Before Orochimaru could react any further, he made his move. From his mouth, a talisman shot out, his neck stretching unnaturally like a serpent as it lunged straight toward you. Fast, sudden, lethal. You didn't even bother stepping back. A faint smile appeared on your face. Let me finish what he was saying. Forbidden jutsu always comes with consequences. In the next instant, your hands moved, forming seals at a speed no one present could even follow. Release. The moment your voice fell, a flash of white light burst from your body, and just like that, you broke free, completely. The binding of the reanimation, gone. The control, severed. Even though this body only held a fraction of your original power, it didn't matter. Not here, not now. Orochimaru's attack had already reached you, that serpent-like head closing in fast, but you didn't even look at it. Just the shockwave from your released power was enough. Like an invisible force exploding outward, it slammed into him instantly. His entire body was blown back. His neck snapped back violently as he was forced to retract it, his mind ringing from the impact. Impossible! For the first time, Orochimaru felt something close to fear, because the connection between you and him had completely disappeared. No matter what method he tried, no matter what backup he had prepared, he couldn't control you anymore, and that was something he had never experienced before. Panic crept in, but he forced himself to stay calm. Swallowing hard, he immediately shifted tactics, controlling the first and second Hokage, placing them directly between you and him. I didn't expect this, that you could break free from my control. You looked at him calmly. I don't need praise from the next generation, and I have no interest in your conflicts. Orochimaru narrowed his eyes. Then how about this? After I kill the third Hokage, we work together. We can rule this entire world. You didn't even hesitate. I'm not interested. Years ago, someone else had made the same offer, and your answer had been exactly the same. You had never cared about ruling anything. What you pursued was something far beyond that. Then stay out of my way. Orochimaru's tone hardened, because your position was directly blocking the battlefield. If you didn't move, he didn't dare attack. Your brows slightly furrowed. Do you even know what you're saying? The moment your voice fell, everything changed. The air inside the barrier collapsed. The ground shattered. The walls cracked. Coffins disintegrated into dust. And Orochimaru was crushed instantly by that overwhelming pressure. But it didn't stop there. That force didn't stay contained. It surged outward, breaking through the barrier, spreading across the entire village. Far away, inside the Chunin exam arena, the ground split apart. Structures trembled and collapsed. Even the four violet flames formation shattered in an instant. Those closest to the barrier didn't even have time to react. They were erased. And in the stands, Kakashi Hatake had already dropped to the ground. His body refused to move. Even from thousands of meters away, that pressure alone was enough to make it hard to breathe. It's real. His Sharingan locked onto the distant ruins, his entire body shaking. But just as he was about to collapse, a voice rang out beside him. I'll take it from here. It was Might Guy. His stance lowered, his hands clenched. The sixth gate, open. A violent surge of energy erupted from his body, pushing back against the pressure just enough, giving Kakashi a moment to breathe. Kakashi, you probably wouldn't understand how I feel right now. Guy's eyes burned with intensity. That man is the dream of every taijutsu user. The seventh gate, open. Steam exploded from his body as his aura intensified even further. The barrier's already broken. I'll go. Before Kakashi could stop him, Guy had already vanished. A streak of blue light, cutting straight through the battlefield. Even the smoke and debris were blown away instantly by the force of his movement. And when the dust finally cleared, what he saw made even him hesitate. Because standing there, you were already holding Orochimaru by the throat, effortlessly. What is this? Even with the seventh gate open, even with all his resolve, Guy couldn't hide the shock in his voice. He had come here prepared to save the third Hokage, who had been pushed into a corner, facing multiple legendary figures at once. But now, everything had already changed. The man he viewed as the strongest had already taken control of the battlefield, before the fight had even truly begun.